Ladies and gents, welcome back to Captain of Industry Update 3, where in the last episode we built a gigantic crude oil refinery. And we're taking crude oil over here from this ship actually, and we're going to refine it first and foremost into diesel to send back the ship, but also of course for my people over here. We will also use it as a backup for diesel generators that I have on the side over here, so that's prioritized. But we're also doing quite a lot of other things. We are, for example, creating sulfur for my rubber. We're also creating acid. We are storing some of the fuel gas for the future and much more. So this has been working so far really well. No complaints. You can see there is no warning. So all good there. And in the last episode, I said next priority will probably be electricity. But actually it's been holding up okay. If you look over here at my two lines of electricity that are powered by those two, boilers, obviously this is costing quite a bit of coal. So I have, quite a few trucks that are coming all the time here to bring some coal, but it's surviving. It's surviving. Well, again, we're gonna need to fix it, but I did find one more urgent thing. Over here, I had a problem. I had too much wastewater because we went above the 60. So my pipe level 1 couldn't keep up, right? Couldn't keep up anymore. So I had to upgrade the pipe to level 2 and add a second of this leaky dam. But at that point, I also realized that we had just, in the research, just done wastewater treatment, which gives us access to this new building here, the wastewater treatment, where you can take this wastewater to transform it back into water. So that way we're going to need less water, which by the way, remember was actually a problem over here. This is now at 48, but that's just because I've paused those two. If I restart those two, it's going to restart going down. So I need water, which is great. And on top of this, of course, it's going to reduce my pollution. You can see over here, my pollution is almost 7. This is actually the biggest of all of them. All right, so if we can take this out completely, that'd be great. So this is what we're gonna do over here. We have the wastewater treatment that is here. It's going to take, there is actually, two recipes. One is just with sand, but this one is actually better. If you look at it, right, it will take some more advanced things like filter media. It will take a bit more chlorine, but it will give me a lot more water as well as more sludge. So we're gonna do the more advanced one for sure. Let's go. So it takes filter media and chlorine. That is two new things we haven't done before. For the filter media, I'm just going to make it, next door. Why next door? Because it takes three things that I have over here. It takes gravel. We're making gravel here, right? With all of these ones here, taking rocks, transforming into gravel. It takes some sand. We have sand over here. We're making it actually there, by the way, right? Remember? Oh yeah, I remember I paused this in the last episode when I was low on diesel. So let's restart it now. But yeah, we have the sand just next door. And last but not least, just a bit of coal, which we also have over here, all right? So that's what I've done over here. We have, this is the coal one. This is gonna be the sand that continues over here. And for the gravel, you cannot take this one here because this belt is actually the merger between gravel and slag crushed, right? So I had to create a new belt here on the side, but that's fine. That's going to go around, right? Then we have some elevators here again, and the building here that will start making filter media. I don't think we're gonna need 36 anytime soon, because if you look over here, this is just 8, so 16 in total, but this 16, this is for 320 of wastewater. I'm currently making only 60. So this is completely overkill, right? Right now we're only going to build half, but I just felt like it's good for the future to have the other half. So yeah, we're gonna start making some media over here, and then this media is going to be sent into that one with the truck. Right, in the future, maybe we can belt it, but for now, just one truck every so often, that's totally fine. So then the next one is the chlorine. So where is that chlorine? It is over here. To make chlorine, you take an electrolyzer. You're going to take brine to make chlorine. It's actually the only real way to make, because this is more of a byproduct, right? So the only way to make chlorine is with the brine. It's a good thing because we weren't really doing much with our brine in the past, right? So we're gonna use over here this brine. So let me just recap, right? We have the three there. They go into this belt, this goes into this fluid storage here, then the fluid storage goes over here, and then delivers here at the top, right, in the front of those two. The brine will come, from this here. This is the output, and it goes into all of these as input. And the brine will actually come from those thermal desalinators. Those thermal desalinators, we're going to take the medium, recipe. Let's do that. So this medium recipe is going to take the seawater, easy, that's here, that's a 1-to-1, a bit of steam, and it's gonna make water and brine. So with that, we're going to create, the brine that we need for chlorine, and we're going to create water that we need anyway for my people to drink, right? Again, for now, if you look, this is 76, right? So one of these will be enough, but in the future, having those two will be good, in particular, to make sure we have enough brine for the amount of chlorine we need. So the last thing here is we need some steam. We could potentially, use coal as always over here, but I wanted to show you there is another way. We have unlocked the boiler electric. And this boiler electric is only using water, nothing else. So that's going to basically use a bit of the water you create, right? Is going to be used to create that steam, and it also consumes a lot of electricity. So that's definitely going to make my electricity problem even worse than before. But actually, again, we're not too bad, so I'm fine. We will need to build a new one, but this way, this will work without coal. And this is quite important in the sense that, you never want your people to not have drinking water or to be full of wastewater. So that way, this is kind of fully self-sufficient. It will work forever, actually creating more water than what you put in, of course. So yeah, let me build, oh no, sorry, wrong thing. Then what are we creating? We're creating water. So we're gonna send back this water over here, right, into it. This is gonna be the priority. This is not the priority. And we're also creating some sludge. And the sludge, there's not much you can do. You can burn it, but that's gonna create a bit of air pollution. So instead, we're gonna put it into the digester that we've used in the past. This is over here. The input, comes this side, comes out here, goes here, and goes into 4 of these. So with that, we're going to create some fuel gas and some compost. Compost is easy, we can just drop it into the sea. Speaking of which, I have just finished that piece here, like to make it, a bit more flat. We didn't do that piece, we can do it after we delete that. But yeah, we're creating some of these compost, and we're creating a bit of gas, which I haven't decided what we're gonna use for. I could potentially create some steam with it to reduce my consumption of electricity from it, but it's gonna take a while, right, to get to 72, so it won't work often. Or I could create a bit of diesel, but I don't really need diesel here, and that will require oxygen. So actually, let's go for that one. It's fine. We'll go for that one, which will help us to basically reduce the consumption of steam here. So let me work on this, and I'll see you in a minute. There it is. The wastewater treatment is working. Let's see, we're using over here the media, the filter media. We have then the sludge that's gonna come out over here and go into these to create some fuel gas and a bit of this compost. The fuel gas goes over here, so slowly but surely this is increasing, and this is the priority, of course, right? We have the priority on this. So this should only work when this one is empty, and we still need some. Creating our water, creating some brine, some chlorine, and obviously the water that comes out of this wastewater treatment is the priority here too. So I've paused the water that used to come from over here, and I think we can even go further now and delete it because it seems to be working with no problem. That will also make this ugly thing go away. And we can take out that one. The one thing you may want to do is to have a reservoir very close there, but actually we have one huge one there. There is an alarm, so I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried. We will continue to create water here from time to time. We have the brine that is full here, but we're gonna use some of it, and then when it's empty, continue increasing the water. So this has been increasing, I'm not worried. Okay, so yeah, here we may want to just rebuild that one just closest so that it's not as ugly, let's say. It is. So that's good here. We, I guess, don't need those two anymore, but I'm gonna leave them for now. And here, this is probably not needed either anymore. We use it also here for the concrete, right? There is a bit of water, but I guess we can use that water there. If this starts decreasing, I can always, start this second one. And yeah, more importantly, I guess I can, let's just pause them, but keep them for now, just in case there's a problem in the next couple of minutes. We know we have this just in case. And so can we look at our pollution? It is. Water pollution is gone completely. Amazing. And so now, right, our health is actually pretty nice, right? We're at plus 14, plus 15 versus before we used to be almost at 0. So that is really important. That is really important. As I said, I think we can also take this out completely. I have restarted these ones because now this is going to be the only kind of thing taking some water. The only problem is, especially when, this one needs to kick on, my electricity is going to be in trouble, right? And here, this is taking a lot of coal in a really not nicely organized way. This is also not a good way to make water. So we're going to want to delete all of this for sure. And the good thing too is we have just unlocked another research, power generation level 3. This gives us access to not too many things, let me show you, but it's quite important. It's over here. It gives us access to the low pressure turbine. So we're gonna be able to use that for sure. Let me show you over here. So in the past, we used to have the high pressure turbine creating 6 megawatt of mechanical power and then some steam low. And we would just send the steam low into the atmosphere or into one of these towers, right? Now we can put actually these, the low pressure turbine, they're going to take this steam low and create a bit more mechanical power. Less, in this case, it's going to be 3 instead of 6, but it's still better than nothing, right? It's almost like for free. And then it still creates something, it creates steam depleted, which you can still put into these, getting half of the water back. So that means we're really not gonna need a lot of water, and therefore basically we increase our mechanical power production, right? This used to be for 48 of steam, which is one of these, right? We used to make 12 of mechanical power. Now with 2 of these, low pressure turbine on top, we're gonna make 18. And so instead of 4 of these power generator, we can have 6. So to be precise, instead of 8 megawatt of electricity, one line is gonna make 12 megawatt, right? And of course you can still have the flywheels at the back. Then as I said, we're gonna bring, the steam depleted back into these cooling towers to create some water. And then this water is gonna be prioritized versus creating some water here. What I'm forgetting, I think, is the brine. So we're maybe going to move this slightly like this. I need to leave one space, and then here I can take care of the brine. But yeah, this is going to create a bit of water, and then at the top here I have put the boilers. Now there is actually 4 lines. Alright, so that is a huge amount of electricity. Each of them is 12, right? So we're talking about 48 if we want with all of this. But we do need a 5th boiler because you need a bit of steam also for the thermal desalinators, right? And I'm actually going to keep it compartmentalized, which means that each of these boilers is going to be linked to just one line, and this one is going to be linked to the thermal desalinators. On the other hand, then all of the water is going to be merged into this one big fluid storage and goes over here, right? So let me just build the pipes now, right? And we can definitely also do, by the way, blueprints for these. So blueprint for that one, and for these ones will be available on my Discord community. Here it is, ladies and gents. So I have built the loose storage and fill it up with coal. We have also at the beginning, sent a bit of water to just kick it off. But now I have put everything as cannot import with truck, right? This should be a closed loop. I don't want anybody to just play with it. And yeah, we built the first two, right? So we're talking about 24 megawatts. If this is working, I haven't built the flywheels yet. We have, to recap, basically, this is the output, right, for this 48 of steam. So pipe level 1, totally fine. Goes over here, 24, 24, right? Then it will go out here with this 24 steam low here and there, and it goes in there and there. And then on the other side, it goes out with the steam depleted. That goes all the way to those 4. Then these 4 will, go over here. This is actually the priority, but it hasn't started at all. What has started to fill this up is actually this piece there, right? That's just taking the seawater and a bit of steam. This is the steam that comes from this pipe here, right, for this dedicated one. And this is creating water and brine. For now, I'm just sending the brine into the sea over here. But in the future, we can potentially, use this to send it somewhere else. And yeah, the water goes over here. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So let's unpause that one and see it get started in a couple of seconds. Yeah, it is slowly but surely kicking off. That's going to create again. Here it is. You can see some steam load that's going on this side. So these ones have also started, right? And they're going to now create some immersion. Now, obviously, our throughput right now is very limited because we don't have any of those flywheels, right? So that's not so great. It may not be actually quite a bit of a problem for the first line, because the first line will probably run all the time. Like I need basically this first line to run all the time. But for the second, definitely we will need the flywheels. Otherwise, it's going to stop and start, and that's not efficient at all, remember, right? So you want to make sure that it stays as efficient as possible, meaning it is working all the time. And with this, we can stop these guys. You are going to be all paused. Done. All paused. I am going to not delete them right away, just in case, there is a problem. But we're definitely pausing, then we can delete that too. The only problem is we need a bit of steam for this guy here. I'm wondering if we use maybe actually the steam we have over here. What else do we need actually? We need some limestone and some wood. I don't really have steam over here. I don't have steam there either for now. My only steam is here and there. And I'm not bringing limestone over there. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think here or there is fine. The good thing is then when we delete this, I can make that flat, right? So with that, that will solve our electricity problem, pretty sure. So that's good. We have solved our electricity problem. We have improved also our health, right? We don't have any water pollution anymore. We do have a big air pollution that we're gonna want to solve soon, but we don't have any water one, thanks to this water treatment. I do see that this is getting lower. I think it's because, we're taking water here, for example, or maybe in other places. So we may want to start the second one. Or is it a problem of brine? Let me check. Yeah, I think it's actually a problem of brine. Making 42. And this is 18, 18, 36. So yeah, we're making more brine. And I'm not using a lot at all, actually, right? So, okay, so I guess we're gonna go and create here a pipe balancer. And again, this is just to prove to you that I'm not infallible. I can make mistakes, it happens. And then I can send that here for now, actually. And then this one is gonna be brine. 60 should be totally fine. priority is here, up, up. So that should, you know, start sending some brine over here. Let's see it. Yeah, it's coming out. It's gonna come out as soon as I unpause this. It is. So brine is coming out, which means this can restart, create some water, and then I think that should be fine. We can, you know, take a quick look over the next couple of years in game and see if we have a problem. What else? Supply of vegetables is a bit low. I know it's because we've been, you know, stopping many of these to conserve water. So next mission is probably going to be around food. You know, we have some new food. We have access to the soybean over here. We can talk about fertilizer too, by the way. And we need to make sure we have enough water basically for all of these farms. Now that we have diesel and electricity, I think this is really the next one. Speaking of which, you can see this seems to be working great. We have no reserves of fuel here. That means we are cracking it all. We have reserves of hydrogen and of oxygen, so that's good. This is full. This is full. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. We don't have that many people. I mean, 110 could look, you know, may seems fine, but I don't think we have enough for us to build a second layer, and we don't need it. You know, no reason to build it until you need it. Last but not least, if we look at our terraforming, we have actually done all of these pieces here. This is all flat. I'm wondering if I try to do this one next, or if we're gonna focus more on this side. I did actually start here. We used to have the forest, and as you can see, there is definitely some elevation. So I have a couple of trucks, and they've already done some good progress. Now my new forest is in this corner. We seem to have great storage of wood, so I'm not too worried. Coal is slowly but surely going down. Actually, you can see we have almost finished this level. So I'm gonna dig even further down. How do you do that? Well, it's not that hard. Press F so that it goes, you know, basically on a ramp. Then we're gonna rotate it so it goes down, and we're gonna start going like this. For now, I'm gonna leave that one as is, so they can come here to finish this one. But yeah, -5 is probably totally fine. This was at 0. Even -5 is probably a bit too much. If you look there, don't think we have that many. Maybe some places. Better to go a bit too deep, and then we can check it out. So yeah, we're gonna do that one. We have also access to a big mine on this side, and let's remember that we also do have a coal mine here, so we should probably start the repair just in case, you know, if we find a problem. But yeah, we have a lot of coal left, so that's not a problem. We've been doing some research on my ship, so we're gonna be able to upgrade our ship so that we can go even further, so that's good too. And that will be in the next episode, ladies and gents. Smash like button, and I hope to see you next time.